My name's Tabscott. I'd like to thank you for picking up a copy of this Red Hot Nashville Dobro course. Going to play some G-style Dobro or a lap steel. If you happen to be an electric player, these tunes will, of course, all work on any electric style guitar that you might have, too. Of course, the accompanying tablature book has a whole lot of information in there for you, so you'll be able to follow along as we move through some of the things we're going to do. We're going to cover hammer-ons and a little deal called chokes. That sounds kind of like pedal steels. And we're also going to do some harmonics and some other super fast kind of things, some chromatic licks too, which I think you'll enjoy. First off, I want to tell you about the Dobro. This one's an R.Q. Jones guitar. It was made back in 1977. Now, the same log, old Jerry Douglas has one of these, and it's one of those logs that he microwaved somehow or other. Apart a couple of 3 microwaves, ovens, and dried out the wood that way, supposedly. So it made the guitar have extra loud sound. It does seem to have just that. It's a regular spun cone, which is the kind that he manufactures right on the inside there. I pulled the screens out because they keep on falling out. I was going to lose them if I didn't get rid of them there. And the guitar is served up pretty well. If you have a guitar, maybe a factory-made Dobro that's not quite up to volume, you might try a couple of things. One of them, if it has a bad rattle, stick a piece of leather right underneath the tailpiece there, which is an easy thing to do. Not a real thick one, maybe about an 1/8 inch thick piece of leather. Stick that into there, and so that lessens the angle of the strings over the bridge. Because if you have too much pressure pushing down on your cone, it can't vibrate as freely. So the ideal angle is to have that just, I don't know what the exact number is for it, but if your guitar's not set up right, try to take it to somebody who knows something about setting them up, or write to me and I'll try to tell you what I can and help you out a little bit more. But that certainly will help a lot. If you're having another rattle problem, never turn your screw inside the little hole there any more than about a 1/4 turn. If that doesn't solve your rattle problem, it's probably something else. Another thing you can do if you want to do a whole overhaul on your guitar, pull the cone out, take the cover plate out, take the cone out, and shellac the inside of the body there with some lacquer or thinner, or not thinner, but lacquer, or polyurethane plastic. I've done that to a couple of guitars, and then put it all back together. That really makes the notes come just bouncing out of there. When you're getting ready to play your guitar, you want to have a nice straight back chair. One of my favorite things to play is a straight back rocking chair. We don't have one of those here, at least well, I got one in the basement, but this here seems to do just fine. You don't want a chair with arms on it because that gets in your way of your elbows. You ever see Dobro players who play with a strap and they're standing up and their guitar gets a little bit higher than their belly button there on the top, and they wind up having their arm crook like that? That's not a good thing to do. Make sure your strap's long enough to where the guitar is hung out so you can stretch your arms out. Now, not have it stretch. You see some guys standing up and they're stretched out like that. That's not good form either. When you're playing, try to sit up nice and straight, put both feet on the ground, or nice and keep your back fairly straight, maybe tilted forward just a little bit. And when you're holding your bar with your hand, look how my elbow, when I'm playing, I try to keep my elbow pretty much in the same general place there. Maybe while you're learning, keep it tucked up against your side. You see a lot of players do that for stability. And all that does is help you hold the bar steadier. Because if you're bent up and crimped up like that, with your wrist bent, that's no good. Keep your arm straight all the way from your elbow and use your elbow as a pivot point there. That way you see that circle I'm getting with that nice broad sweep there? It just makes your hand motion a whole lot smoother, like. Yeah, see how my arm pivots from the elbow? Yeah, see, instead of going like your wrist, don't use your wrist. Some a little bit later on when you get into more advanced techniques where you're sliding a little bit more faster and everything, your wrist comes into play. But for the most part, at the intermediate stage or the later on getting to be advanced stage, you want to keep your elbow as the pivot point and your arm nice and straight all the way out. You also notice when I'm playing down here, I kind of have a grip that I put my hand in. I put these 2 fingers straight out, just like that, and kind of use those as a brace for the rest of that. Comes in particularly handy for pull-off technique, which works like. See how I maintain a constant point of pressure with the guitar with these 2 fingers, and helps me just keep the bar steadier, and it alleviates a lot of the rattling problems you might have. Your right hand is a whole nother bird here. Now this is the gas pedal. If we were driving a car with the Dobro here, this is the gas pedal, your right hand. And you want to try and keep it straight. Right here, you know how banjo players, if you ever watch them, they always have their hand cocked just that right, and put it right there behind the bridge just the right way. Well, Dobro players, in the majority of bluegrass playing, the standard hand position will be right over the top of the cover plate there. You take the fat, meaty part of your hand, set it right down there, and then kind of spread them out there. Maybe angle just a little bit back this way with your elbow to help keep your hand straight. That you see a lot of players, if you're having trouble getting your rolls close together, it's because you have your hand bunched around like that. You're trying to get the forward roll by going, and your fingers are too close together, and that's partly because your hand's too far around, even if you're holding your hand like that. Now, turn it around so the flat part is in line with that there. Now, granted, a lot of you players, you're going to be long past this point, but I'm just trying to help out so we can make this video beneficial for everybody, because we do have something for everyone here. Now, if you're looking at your book like I have right here, I'd like to explain the tablature system that we have. Example A, yeah, we're tuned in G. That's G, B, D, G, E. And each line on the page represents a string on the guitar. Now, when you have a line going across there, since it represents a string, if there's a number on it, be it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, that it designates what fret to put your bar on. So, example B on the explanation and tablature there on the first page goes open on the third string, then second fret, and then fourth fret, then the next string up is open, and then 1. We're not trying to play a song, we're just explaining the tablature here, okay? So example C shows us T's, I's, and T's. The thumb is a T, the I is the index finger, and the M is the middle finger. So when I write out something for you, I'll put which finger, suggested fingerings, because you'll find that you might want to finger it differently, because most Dobro players, being as it is, we evolve in such remote locations from each other, everybody generally gets their own way to do things. So hammer-ons are an example D, and I'll show you what that means. That's two numbers side by side with a little curvy rainbow. See that? Example D on your paper there, and example D sounds like this. Okay? A pull-off is designated by example B, and what that means is you pick the string with the bar already down, and then pull it off. So you get two notes from one right-hand finger pick. In example F, the straight line means a slide. SL is written over the top of it. And in example G, those arrows, that means choke. I'm going to tell you about chokes here. Place your bar across the 5th fret. That's a C, okay? Now you pedal steel players will recognize this as just exactly what the pedals do on your E9th neck, okay? What we're going to do is brace your thumb. See my thumb's braced up right over there? Put it right there, and I'm pulling that second string with the third finger of my left hand, or fourth finger, excuse me, a wedding ring finger. I'll tell you more about that, but it does help when you're using that technique, which we will do a little bit later on, if you brace your thumb up there on the fretboard like that. And one more thing, harmonics. Yes, so there are a couple of ways to get harmonics on the Dobro, and most of them are open. That involves gently laying the little finger of your left hand at the 5th fret. That is a G harmonic. It's the same harmonic that you get at the 12th fret. And there's only one other one, really. There are some others, but they're so hard to get and hard to make sound clear that they're really not worth trying. But there's the D. But sometimes your bashful brother Oswald get them. He can go all the way up. They are there. But another way to get harmonics, and I'll show you a song that's got some of these in it a little bit later on, it's the Looney Tunes thing, an artificial harmonic. So what you do is you take the meaty part of your hand, we're still at the C fret on the Dobro, take the meaty part of your hand and move it all the way up there and tuck your thumb right next to your hand there and brush across the strings. It'll take a little getting used to, but eventually you get a, hear that? That's the old Looney Tunes theme. Those will work at any fret, because normally, with the little finger, the only harmonics you can get are at 5, 7, 12, and on some guitars, mine doesn't work up to 15. It's there. With a palm harmonic, or an artificial harmonic as it's called, you steel players use them a lot, you can get them anywhere. And the trick is always to have the palm of your hand 12 frets away from where your bar is. That divides the string in half. Now, one little trick I can show you, instead of looking this way when you're playing harmonics, there's my bar, and coming all the way back around here and seeing where the back of your hand is, that's too hard. Get it closer together and look where your thumb hits. Now, it'll differ with everybody's size of their hands, but my hands happen to have it come out like if I'm going to play an A harmonic, there's my palm right there, and I don't look at that. I look at where my thumb hits. I know it hits on E, so all I have to do is put my thumb on the E, and so it just follows that my palm will be in the right place for it. But I'll show you some more of those a little bit later on. Right now, let's get tuned up so I can show you some licks here, okay? Here's a G note, 6th string, I'll call the bottom one, 6. Here's a B string, which is the 5th. And here's the D string, 4th. Here's G. Here's B. And finally, here's the D string. Now let's get right into some of these licks here. More stuff. Let's work on Blackberry Blossom. It's a great old fiddle tune that most of the times usually winds up being played in the key of G when you're at a bluegrass festival, so you don't have to use a capo or anything. And that was a bus going by on the street outside. But I'm going to show you 4 different ways to play the start to Blackberry Blossom. Now the first one is going to be nice and simple. The chord progression goes G, D, C, G, C, G, A, D. That's the first time through, and it repeats. I'm sure most of us are familiar with it. If not, you will be by the time we're done here. Now, the first time, let me play it for you at a moderate tempo, this first version, and then we'll zoom in on the hands so you can get a good idea and follow right along with what we're doing here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Straightforward, and we're working off strings 6, 4, and 3. Now let's zoom in, and I'll play that for you nice and slow. The right hand is on strings 6, 4, and 3 for the most part, like I said, and it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty simple. That's about as basic as you can get for Blackberry Blossom. Let's try it another version. We'll do the same basic pattern, except let's play it on the top strings. The right hand will be working off strings 1, 2, and 3. Just T-I-M, like that. Thumb, index, middle. We'll do it backwards. It goes like this. I'll play it up to moderate speed first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slow it down, zoom in on the hands. This is Blackberry Blossom number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now it's jazzing it up just a little bit. Same basic thing. Pattern number 3 is kind of a Jerry Douglas style version. I think you might hear it on the version of Manzanita, on the Manzanita album, the one they recorded with Tony Rice. And I think Blackberry Blossom is on there. And Jerry played a break that sounded a whole lot like this. Now, when I'm doing this, it sounds like 1, 2, 3, 4. Jump right into it. Yeah, that's got a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs. And let's zoom in on the hands. I'll count this off nice and slow. It's Blackberry Blossom version number 3 for the first part. Now you'll notice that when I'm doing that, I played only the tip of the bar on the outside string. The other 2 notes are percussive notes. Now you can give a hint of a note there if you want, but generally I just play them pretty much as pops. But your ear tricks you, the listener, and sometimes it sounds like you hear notes, but it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. See, it's awful hard to play that, so let me try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty darn close. Just a second, let me try it again. So a little bit quicker here. To work up to these licks, you're going to have to use some exercises. If you're not up to this speed already, I can show you some exercises, and I probably won't do that here in just a minute. But it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just making it worse. But line number 3, if you'll listen to that, you probably already have a copy of that if you're a fan of bluegrass music, but Blackberry Blossom number 3, let me try it one more time for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll take that. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to show you one more way on Blackberry Blossom, on the first part anyway, that I think will work really nice for you. It's a little bit swingier version. It's a style. It's example number 4 there on the Blackberry Blossom page, and it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty similar to the Jerry Douglas version there, except we're using a little, instead of going, I'm going, that just sounds a little bit more slidey, and that's achieved on the first string. Well, it's lined out right in example 4. Let's play that nice and slow for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Difficult to slow down a lot of these licks and play them at the reduced speeds like this. All right, this Blackberry Blossom second part, I suppose we should work up to it. But the line we stick on the end will be the second part. As you probably know, the song goes E minor to an E minor there. But let's put one of our versions on the front of it. We'll play the line through twice and then go to the second part. And after that, I'll stop it and show it to you. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, slowing it down for you here. And what I'm going to show you how to do is a couple of versions of this second part. Okay? The one we just did was line number 5 goes. Let's zoom in on the hands there. Sorry, I forgot to do the cameraman. Anyway, it goes. Another way we can do that, if we bring it back up, the next line is another way, and it would be after the line. Here's the part I want to show you. Okay, that's the same basic thing. It's E minor for several beats of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the song starts over. Now what I've got written down here for the second part, the next line, goes straight to the E minor. And when we're doing this, you're playing an E minor at the 9th fret. Only play the 2nd string, which is the 3rd of the E chord, the G note. You want to make sure that's only a G note, because if it's a G sharp it sounds major and it's not right, because the song goes to E minor. So I'm playing out of the E straight position, but I'm not hitting the 2nd string when I'm at the 9th fret. So it's. Blackberry Blossom all the way through. Let me play that for you one time up at a brisker tempo, or a couple of times through, okay? Slowed the rhythm every little bit in there, just so I could work in all the different patterns to show you. And they all interchange and fit with one another. You can play it the first time through on the bottom strings like that, then do the next pattern. Okay, so feel free to experiment with those and turn them all around. And remember, the fingerings are only suggestions. Now, a lot of you have been hearing these things Jerry Douglas and Paul Franklin and all these cats been doing out in Nashville, playing hammer-ons and pull-offs. And they sound really technically complicated, they sound really super hard to do, and it's a difficult technique, but in structure, they're basically very simple, and all you have to do is the same thing that those guys did, just spend a lot of time going over and over and over this basic pattern. Now, if you'll take a look at the section that says hammer-ons, hammer-ons, we're going to show you an exercise here that is number 8. Now, as you know, a hammer-on is when you pick a string, and then, in this case, it's open, is on the 6th string. Pick it open, then hammer on at the 2nd fret. Then, with your middle finger, pick the next string up, open, and then hammer on at the 1st fret. Then pick the next string up and hammer on at the 2nd fret. Then the 3rd string, the next string up, and hammer on at the 2nd fret. Then the 2nd string, pick it open, and hammer on at the 1st fret, and then the top string. So let's try to smooth that out for you. Okay, now you want to keep practicing that. When you get to where you can do it forwards, nice and smooth like that, do it backwards. you can go. Okay, just over and over. And put the one forward with the one backward. It's not supposed to be a song. We're just working on technique here. This is just an exercise. All right. Now the opposite of a hammer-on, which is hammering on with the bar, is pulling off. Now that's picking the string. Let's do it on the first fret. Well, the next example down is just this same lick backwards with pull-offs. So you pick the string with the bar at the second fret, and then pull it off. See? So we get a whole bunch of those in a row on the same positions. Change the accent on it. See? Pull-offs. I know, they sound stupid like that, right? Get to where you can do them. Then they sound cool. But all that is turning it around. So let's play those two exercises that we just did. It's hammer-ons on the way up and pull-offs on the way down. What did he do at the top? Let's get up to the top there and I'll show you again. It's hammer-ons on the way up. That's right, it was a hammer-on and a pull-off. And then... Now you say that doesn't sound like much. Well, listen to it. So it's like a chain reaction, and it's really all Jerry Douglas is doing, right? When he's doing those fancy hammer-ons and pull-offs like that. You're right, there is another sound, and it's on the next line down. It's that seventh, that kind of hard driving bluegrass sound like that. That kind of like that. You can get that with hammer-ons and pull-offs too, and it's all on a straight line. It's easy. It's the easiest one of all. That'll work like a G7th kind of hammer-on run. It'll work over a G7th. It'll also work over a B flat. It'll work over that sound. That sound I'm talking about is the seventh sound, and you get it on the third fret. Let's do it. That next line down. Pick the bottom string open, hammer on at the third fret, and then you do that all the way up the neck progressively. Those same things we were doing in the open, those little things that keep happening. That's the reason we saved you money by filming this in our living room and renting a video camera. But the information is the same as they're playing on the Nashville records, or pretty much so. So that's why this video was $19.95 and their video is $49.95. But anyway, I can still show you some. Anyway, this lick we're working on, it was the next one down. It's the hard driving bluegrass sound, third fret, hammer-ons all the way up. Right? We did that much. Let's do it backwards. Pull-offs all the way down. So start with the bar down at the third fret. With a different accent. You might recognize that from some Mike Aldridge endings, but change it to... So get that to where you go. Alright, then put it with the one that goes forward. And just keep going. You can start on the next string down this time, like... Stretch it out a long way. Now couple that minor kind of sounding run with the one that goes major, and you can stretch it out a long way. Say you got a bluegrass song that's playing on and on and on and on, go. Just on and on and on. If the song goes to D, go to D after that. So you'd wind up with something like. Riffs will also work, you know, you put on a capo and you can wind up playing those licks just about in any key. Admittedly, it won't sound as good as playing them open because you lose a whole lot of volume when you're playing that way. Let me show you some more hammer-on licks. Now, this is one that has hammer-ons and pull-offs. It's on the next line down and it starts on the 4th string. And it goes like this up to speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slow that down for you now. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that works pretty good. That'll work over a G chord. It's just pretty much the same thing. Instead of starting all the way down on the bottom, you're starting up here on the 4th string. And on and on. Now, I'll show you another way to play that same lick on the next line down. What? No, it didn't have any hammer-ons on it. When you switch strings, and those kind of sound like hammer-ons. Well, they play the same notes. They don't sound like hammer-ons. But listen to it. Here's the first one. Now here is the second one. You can play that backwards too. That same line. So forwards and backwards is. Pretty neat. Get to where you can do it like that, then put it with some of those ones that are hammer-ons down here in the bottom. I mean, they're the same thing, but it sounds different. And, well, you know, if you're standing there making a bunch of notes and your hands moving all around, it looks like you're really jamming. And, well, you are. So, play something like. Just those rolls that I was showing you, just placed one right after the other, one right after the other. Okay, I'd like to show you another tune here that we got. Still in the great key of G. Are you still in tune? I heard a Tony Trischka album the other day that had a great tune on it. It's a tune I think he wrote. It's called New York Chimes, and it has some artificial and some natural harmonics in it. And it's also a great tune because it's in the key of D. What a key. You know, did you know that most orchestral music from the classical period was written in the key of D? Most musical stuff for orchestras is in the key of D, and it's just a dynamite key to play in the Dobro. You say, what? D? Yeah, because there's a bunch of things you can do with it. And let me play this song for you here. And it's a pretty good clip here. So, na-na-na-na, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. slowed it down a little bit there because I just wanted you to make sure you get a good hearing on that. I'll slow it down for you here, and we'll zoom in on my hands, and I'll play it through nice and slow. Let's do just the first part, okay? And then because I want to explain the second part in a little bit more detail for you. And it's in D, and it goes like, let's just put the kickoff notes in ourselves. Okay, there was the first part. Now, the second part starts out. There's an A palm harmonic. And you can put an ending on it like. That's New York Chimes. That's on one of the latest Tony Trischka albums. If you're interested in getting a hold of a copy of that, that'd be worth your while. Next, I have a tuning trick for you. It's a Mike Aldridge tune called the Tennessee Traveler. I don't know if he wrote it, but we tune into the B-flat tuning. Well, kind of. It's just a G it's a G minor on the top. And all I did was drop my B string down to a B-flat. The tune up to speed at a moderate clip goes something like this. Time through there, and I'll slow it down for you. The song in the B flat, or the second string in B flat. It's on Mike Aldridge's Green album. What's the name of that one? That's the one with Mountain Slide, and the name of the song is Tennessee Traveler. Yeah, so that's the Tennessee Traveler. That's a pretty cool song. You get a lot out of that. Let's tune back up now. I'd like to show you Rawhide. I know, they say, Rawhide? That's not a Dobro tune. Well, you bet your boots it is. That's one of my favorite instrumentals to play. Also, if you play in a band with a mandolin player who doesn't know it already, it'll kick him in the pants to get it going there. Our mandolin player plays it. As you know, it's in the key of C, the great Bill Monroe standard. one time through all the way up there until the, and then it starts over right. That second part is a circle of fifths. If you're not familiar with the song, it goes straight to that. Seventh will work, and then right back into it. Somebody else takes it there. So let's slow that down a little bit. I have a fairly ambiguous version of this song, so I did well, write down what we show you, and it'll just probably go all over the place. Here it is, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. To practice that just as its own separate entity, and use the second part as its own separate practice piece until you can get to where you can play the whole song through. And if you'd like to make it easier on yourself, here's a simpler version to the bridge that I played. Was the same right hand pattern every time. I just moved the bar around, and you'll see that written out there. I got time to show you about one more song here, and I'd like that to be The Red-Haired Boy. Yes, my friends, The Red-Haired Boy has a great opportunity for a number of hammer-ons and pull-offs on it. You might have heard Mike Aldridge record it with Bill Emerson. Said it, Bill Emerson? Emerson and Waldron and the Shades of, or something like that. That's where I heard it. He did it with the Selim scene too, I think. But it goes. Take that and I'll slow it down for you. We'll count it off, and then play it for you nice and slow, just like it's written down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the second part is. Back again with a new studio here, well, I think has better acoustics. Now keep going here. Some more tuning notes. Are you still in tune? There's our G strings. There's the B strings. There's the D strings. How about some finger coordination exercises? Some of you may be having a little trouble with the hammer-on and pull-off rolls that we were doing just a little while ago. So maybe we should do some finger exercises that can help loosen up your fingers. One of them, one of my favorites, is from a Mike Aldridge song, Panhandle Country. Or, I don't know if he wrote it or not, but he sure did do a good Dobro version of it. And it's a series of forward rolls, and it goes like this. is 6, 5, 4, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1. And just keep doing that chords. Now, you hear him doing it in the song. He does it in the key of C up to an F, a G, and a C again. So it sounds like. So that'll help you if you just keep running that back and forth like. Another one you can do is starting a forward roll and leaving your fingers constantly going on the last two strings while your thumb keeps descending. It sounds like so you pick it, there's a forward roll. The next time it's 4, 2, 1, 5, 2, 1, 6, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 5, 2, 1. And you get that so where it's rolling so fast like. That. I might try it at the 12th fret. And leave the last string uncovered. So that's like. That'll help loosen up your fingers a whole lot. How about a song? Standard bluegrass tune, Fireball. That's one that should be in your repertoire. One you can jazz up or play pretty straight. Usually, you know, if you're going to play a song with a bluegrass band, you'll take a couple of breaks if you're at a festival or something, so you stretch it out. And the first time through, play it really straight. And the second time through, play with it and make it dance, swing it, or change the melody a little bit, or change the rhythm, or attack it differently. So I'll show you Fireball here in the key of G, Buck Graves tune, and it goes like this. One time through, pretty much up to speed. Now you can do a lot with that, with those same hammer-on and pull-off licks that we were doing. Well, remember, the chord pattern is da-da-da, G, G, D, D. You play rhythm like a mandolin on the Dobro. Chunk it on the backbeat like they do. Yeah, that's one of the best ways to get your rhythm effects. But anyway, when you're playing that, that's pretty much a Jerry Douglas style first part of that, or a Buck Graves on the classic recording did. Nobody has a touch like him. He just. Let's change that around. Let's do it with hammer-ons and pull-offs. Put in some of those. That sounds pretty good there. Nice and slow. A lick for Fireball. Something like that. Using those same pull-off lick rolls that we were using. The second part. Or, I mean, you can play it. Yeah, that's a nice slant lick for Fireball on the bridge on the second part. tune that's pretty much similar to that is called Pick Away. Buck Gray's played that one too. Difference being it has a circle of fifths bridge, much the same as Rawhide, which we did earlier at the other studio. And we'll go ahead and play that one. In Rawhide, the song went E, A, D, G on the bridge, but in Pickaway it goes B, E, A, D. So Pickaway is pretty much the same as Fireball. Let's play that one for you, pretty much up to tempo. That's Pick Away, one time through. Want me to slow it down for you? I'll slow it down and play it again. Give you something to work on there. So, other things, always just keep working on your right hand there. You can always tap your fingers, whether you're at school or at work or at a library or riding on the bus, just tapping those, because that'll getting your fingers limber is what it's all about. And the left hand, remember, working from the elbow and keeping your wrist pretty much straight. Want some ideas for playing in, say, different keys? A. That's Bill Cheatham in A. I'll show it to you here. It's just, play it just like I have it written out there. And you have to, of course, play that second part again. I'll slow that down for you here, just like that. Yeah, that's kind of back and forth. But when you play it up the tempo, like... You know that song in the key of G also. It's probably a lot easier to play that way. Want to try it? just a little bit of difference between the first part and the second part in the A version and the second part in the G version. I sure do appreciate you picking up a copy of this Dobro video. I hope we've helped you a lot, and I trust that you'll be practicing a lot on all these licks, and maybe we'll see you around one day at one of these bluegrass festivals here. And good Dobro to you. I'm going to go get some dinner down at the mill.